Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a divorce mediator in St. Louis, Missouri. I have the pleasure of discussing the future of litigation and online mediation services with Winter Wheeler, a prominent lawyer, arbitrator, and mediator in Atlanta, Georgia. Now say, okay, we have the picture of litigation. Even if you file, you're barely going to get a court date, right? You're looking at 2021, 2022, who knows? Judges,
Who knows?
who knows, really? Judges, like in some areas, rotate off at the end of the year. So we have this rotation of judges sometimes at the end of the year. So that's all happening. But now we come back to some of the benefits of online mediation. And so how is this, if online trials don't work very well, how is online mediation different and how can it be successful?
Online mediation is a completely different animal, completely different. So when you think about the justice system, the jury trial is the pinnacle, right? It is the pinnacle. That's the thing that sets the American system apart from every other system. And we've got to get that right. That's the end. That's it. But mediation is a process that is typically voluntary. But whether you go into it voluntarily or not, the parties have a lot of leeway. They don't have to make decisions about their case that they don't want to make. There is the right or the privilege of self-actualization. They are there to make decisions about their case. And that's the point. So your parties show up, they learn what they can about the other side. They present their information. They make sure their story is heard. They get that emotional kind of catharsis, which is super, super, super important, which is often, almost always missing from a trial. But they have the opportunity to decide what they want to do. And they don't have to decide anything,
right,
at all. So mediation is completely different because at the end of the day, you can leave without having done anything that was binding. You still have the opportunity to go forward with the trial. You could go forward with an arbitration. You could go forward with doing nothing for a while. You could go forward with another mediation. You could go forward with informal negotiations, either amongst your lawyers, the parties, however, or with your mediator. I do that a lot too.
Well, and I think the interesting, so here's something that I was just thinking about while you were talking, but in the past, right, we would do litigation. Somebody files litigation because they're like, hey, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, or we contractually agreed to. So I'm going to sue you and I'm going to get that court date. And then we talk about this, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but 85, 95% of cases settle on the courtroom steps, right? Because that impending court date is forcing you to settle. Well, now you got your court date in 2022. So there's nothing impending. So now the interesting concept, though, is that the only way to get something done is to come back out of litigation and come into mediation or arbitration or an alternative dispute resolution, right? Which this didn't exist. Like you would just in the past, like pre-COVID, you'd be like, well, maybe I'll mediate. Okay, let's try it. Whereas now it's if you want to get something done, you have to come back out to this, which is fascinating because we might actually be more successful in mediation because you can't have a court date, right? So the only way to get resolution is everybody's going to have to start I don't know, working together. And and it might not even be working together, but you have to start communicating. And I think where people like you and I come in, and I've read some of the things that you've talked about, is that we are coming in and we're sensing, right, some of the communication issues. And we're trying to, like I hear what this person says over here and I hear what this person says, but you guys are going whoop. And we come in and we say, look, what about this? Now that's very different.